even though Section 4 says, right, that if the students are taught in separate places, not less than 25 miles away, it would appear the institution could teach both races. Again, Section 4, nothing, note the term, nothing, one second, Mr. Dakins, nothing in this act shall be construed to prevent any private school, college, or institution of learning from maintaining a separate and distinct branch thereof in a different locality not less than 25 miles distant for the education exclusively of one race or color.
So what was the point of even adding a Section 4? Just to make it sound good?
I wasn't there, Mr. Daggins, right? But you have seen the pattern over the course of the semester. All right, let me read for you now just a little, as I always do, a little section from the decision of the court. The court said, that's the Supreme Court. It is insisted that the Court of Appeals, as the Kentucky Court of Appeals, did not regard the legislation as making an amendment because another prosecution instituted under the same corporation under the 4th section of the Act, which makes it a misdemeanor to teach pupils of the two races in the same institution, even though one race is taught in one branch and another in another branch, provided the two branches are within 25 miles of each other, was held could not be sustained. Why? This last section, we think, this is the Kentucky Court, the Supreme Court citing the Kentucky Court of Appeals in the Supreme Court's decision. This last section, we think, violates the limitations upon the police power of a state. It is unreasonable and oppressive. It is unreasonable and oppressive. But while so ruling, it also held that this section could be ignored and that the remainder of the Act was complete notwithstanding. So though Section 5, right, to use its language as well, is unreasonable, right, and oppressive, in other words, it's unreasonable for now Berea College to teach black students and white students, right, the same institution, though 25 miles apart, as the Act itself requires. Whether the reasoning of the court concerning the 4th section be satisfactory or not is immaterial. Whether the reasoning, right, is immaterial. Does it remind you of In Re Green, right? If there was an error, it was just a mere error. Remember? In Re Green, classic, side, okay, Mr. Wood is not affirming. For no question of its validity is presented, the Court of Appeals, while striking it down, sustained the balance of the Act. So the Court of Appeals struck down Section 4. We need concern ourselves only with the inquiry whether the 1st section can be upheld as coming within the power of the state over its own corporate creatures. And the answer is? What's the answer? One word.
Yes.
Thanks, Ms. Scott. Yes. All right. So that is a Berea trace it for you. Are there any questions? Could you pass the Tell It in the Union test? Yes, Mr. Parman.
So they made a law, realized they goofed, and then everywhere along the line said, it doesn't matter.
Yeah,
We meant this, and that's the important
right. This is really what we meant.
Okay.
Sure. I mean, not the legislature, the court acting, right, in constructing what the legislature's intent was. So the legislature, my guess must have been fairly clear in its intent, but the court put its construction on the intent of the legislature. And that intent was that there would not be black students and white students received as students in the same institution, regardless of whether they were in the same place, at the same time, in different places, at different times, mattered not.